Welcome, Blanca Treviño, founder, chairman, and CEO of Softtek, and thank you for joining us today. Softtek is the largest private IT provider in Latin America and operates in North America, Latin America, Europe, and Asia. Blanca studied computer science at Monterrey Institute of Technology, and she is board member of Olmor Mexico, Goldcorp, Grupo Lala, among others. Moreover, she became the first woman appointed to the Consejo Mexicano de Negocios and is a frequent speaker at international forums as the World Bank and the World Economic Forum. My name is Soraya Quiroga. I'm an intern at EMI at Cornell University and a student at Universidad de los Andes in Bogota, Colombia. And it's a great privilege for me to interview a women business leader in technology. So thank you so much for being with us, Blanca.
No, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
And being from Colombia, you are from this amazing country, and Bogota, it's incredible.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I also love Mexico, so.
That's good. And we love food, right? So
yeah, that's right.
Have some arepas and you can come to Mexico and have tacos.
Oh, yeah, I love tacos, so that's amazing. Now, Blanca, we want to know why you founded Softtek and why Mexico?
Well, first of all, let me start with the second question. I am from Mexico. I am from Mexico, very proud of being born here and a very proud citizen of Mexico. And I believe there are so many reasons why we should feel that. That is the first. But the second, I like to say that it isn't me. Every time that they ask us about Softtek and when it was founded, I always emphasize that it was a group of friends. It was a group of friends and it was not just me. We like to do this as a group. And that's probably the most exciting thing, that this has not been a lonely journey, but a journey that we have shared many friends. But why did we start it? I think if you go back, well, not probably you weren't born at that time, but in the mid-80s, thinking about technology, Mexico, and entrepreneurs, there were things that were not necessarily that you say that this could happen in Mexico. It was not normal. You say that if you wanted to any kind of technology, you look at the US. Never you consider that in Mexico you could, in a way, develop technology, use technology. It was something that the world didn't expect. But we were lucky enough, some of us, to work in this industrial group in Mexico that is called Grupo Alfa. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And we worked for I would say, the service company that would provide different kind of services to the group. And one of those services was technology, the technology services that they needed. So in the mid-80s, we said, why don't we think that we can do this for ourselves? Why wouldn't we start a company? And that was the second challenge. It was not just technology, but starting a new business, being an entrepreneur. Okay. It was whenever you say that you were an entrepreneur, they would say, don't do that. You just don't have a job, and you like this sexy word that it's called entrepreneurs. But it was not so. It was really something that we wanted to do. At that time, it was like a dream, being very honest, a challenge that we wanted to take. And now, looking back, I think it was very wise decision also, because we were able to position Mexico as a strong player in the IT industry. We also believe that we showed the other people that wanted to start business in Mexico that it was possible, even though we didn't have that ecosystems that in other places had at that time. So I think that looking back, it was difficult probably, but it's something that we also have enjoyed, and we believe that we have made a difference in a way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, and what are the major challenges and also advantages that Softtek has faced, given that you're an emerging multinational in IT?
Well, the challenges, I would say, you always have challenges, and I also believe that we always look for challenges. Challenges allows you to enjoy the work. it'll be so boring if you didn't have those. But it probably the most important ones when we started. When we started, again, there was not entrepreneurs or the entrepreneur ecosystem. It was completely non-existent. It didn't exist in Mexico. So it was really something that you had to believe that it was possible. And when I said we didn't have the ecosystem, it's everything that is around that. It's universities that were looking at fostering those kind of things, or the financial sector saying we can support you with whatever capital that you might need, or the market to say, yes, I can work with this small company that just started. So the challenges that we faced at the beginning were the ones that you could expect when you don't have the ecosystem, right? And no access to capital, not necessarily the position that you needed to have access to the market, to new clients, being able to convince talent to join you. So not only those were the challenges at that time, and the advantages at that time, it was that we were crazy enough to not listen to those challenges or things that for other people were probably barriers. Challenges today, we're a global company, and as a global company, even when we started opening offices outside of Mexico, it was really competing, because we have always competing with very large companies. Our competitors are probably 5-10 times larger than we are, and they come from in a way markets or countries in which they have huge respect about technology. So the challenge that we have faced, it's really competing with companies that are so well positioned, and if coming from India or the US or even Europe, where there's a lot of respect from companies that started there. But also the advantage is that more and more emerging markets are so, perceived as strong players, that it's also something that we have leveraged significantly in order to compete. We are neighbors to the largest market for IT services, that is the US. And the way that we approached that market years ago, it was again leveraging the geopolitical advantages, supporting or offering services from Mexico to the US. It was really leveraging things like time zone or proximity or cultural affinity, things that probably companies from India didn't have. So I think the key has always been to look for those advantages instead of looking to things that you could consider disadvantages.
Okay, well, that's really interesting. And what about you? Like, what are the challenges you as a woman leader of a company in Mexico has faced, and also globally?
You know what? Every time that they invite me to panels for entrepreneurs or for women, people look at me because I said it hasn't been difficult. And they will say, it is not true. She's not saying really the things that she has faced, but probably it's part of the way that you live. If you have this kind of self-determination, going back to my previous comment, I have always I made this decision to always look at the things that are advantages. No matter, I don't want to lose my time looking at things that doesn't work. And I did this as an entrepreneur, and I certainly do this as a woman. You're right, when you come from Latin America, you're from Colombia. Yeah. And imagine 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It was completely unexpected that you wanted to start a company, that you wanted to be very active in the job space or this kind of things. But for me, I was very lucky to be that I had this family in which they really challenge you, they push you to pursue whatever you want to do. I was lucky also to have partners that will support me in having the kind of balance that I needed, because I also love being a mom. I think I was born to be a mom. I have been privileged enough to be able to work and to have this kind of challenges that I face in as someone from this industry, but I really enjoy being a mom. So my partners, my family, really helped me in being able to do that. But also, I always will emphasize to any other woman that it is related to the way that you want to do this. You can see whenever you think about having your family life and also working, some women feel that they are doing something that they shouldn't, or that they do affecting their families or their kids. But if you go and do this feeling guilty, your family will feel victims of you. So one of the ways that I have managed is I have always looked at the purpose of doing something. And when you do that, when you focus on that, and you're privileged enough, like I have been, to be surrounded by people that support you, it is not this environment. Again, probably because I didn't want to look at that they had doubts about me. I never feel that they don't allow me or that they don't respect me. Again, I think it's part of your attitude and the way that you see it. So if you want to do something, I believe that you can do it. But don't lose your time looking at the things that are not in your favor. I think that'll be key.
Okay, that's a really good advice. Thank you. And well, what are the main lessons that you've learned through your journey with Softtek?
I think I didn't hear. Can you repeat the question? Because
What are the main lessons you learned through the journey with Softtek?
I mentioned some of them, but I'm gonna again emphasize.
Yeah.
One, it's that you can achieve whatever you want if you have that vision, that passion, that self-determination. We have never, ever allow us to say this is something that we cannot pursue. And we have been very crazy. And there were years in which they would look at us and would say, this is a sect. And those sects, those groups of people that they just believe in something and it without any reason. But one thing is the power of self-determination, the power of your vision. It is something that is important. And also to have a purpose. In our case, it has been to transcend. And when you have this long-term vision, everything that you do is aligned to that vision. That's something that is important. From the very beginning, you better understand or share the purpose of what you're doing, the reason why you're doing this. So it's the vision, but also the purpose of what you're doing. In our case, probably sharing the journey, it's a lesson that I believe it's key. When you do something, if you share the journey, you can enjoy it so much more, and it gives you your chances of being successful are even greater. You have to make agreements. Sometimes when you share the journey, it's like negotiating with your husband about something. You have to, but I think we have not just share the journey, but share the vision and share the commitment and share the passion. So lessons learned, having a very strong vision, share it. Once you share that vision and it's like a commitment. If you go and tell your friends, this is what we're gonna do and we're gonna build this global company, you don't wanna go back and tell them, well, I was joking. So really, if you are looking at something, tell everyone that you wanna do that, because then it's not just a vision, it's a commitment. And so it is important to do those kind of things. And there are still lessons that I have to learn. I wish this is not a job that it's already finished. I believe that it's something that we'll keep on learning.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, Blanca, I'm a faculty fellow at EMI, the Johnson School of Business. And thank you very much for sharing with us the lessons from your work life and also to some extent your personal life. As you said, the two go together. Now you have spoken about vision for your company or what's important, and we have looked at the past. Now, what about the future? The IT is an industry which is moving quite fast. How how do you see the contour of the element of this industry? Where is it going specifically? And perhaps in that context, what about Softtek?
One thing that it's incredible. We're in an industry that it's booming, like you said. Today, years ago, technology is something that you needed, something that could probably make companies more efficient or do certain tasks more efficiently, but it was not so related to the business. Today, the role that technology plays is absolutely different. Mm-hmm. So whenever they talk about the fourth revolution, industrial revolution, it is true. It has a complete revolution. There's not a single, I believe, a boardroom in which they are not talking about digital transformation. Business models, companies, industries have been, all of them, impacted by technology, and they keep on doing that. I believe there's going to be a point in which you are not going to talk about IT industry, because industry is embedded in every single, in all other industries. So when you think about retail, think about Amazon. Is Amazon a retailer or is it an IT company? Is Uber a is it a service company, transportation, or is it technology? And it's much more. It's not just leveraging technology, but it's disrupting a complete industry, transportation, retailers, everything that you think has been disrupted by technology. So it's embedded already there. It is more, every single industry has this technology that goes all around. And if you don't embrace it, if you do not anticipate, if you're not part of that digital transformation, it's very soon that you probably end up closing your company or probably going out of business if you don't understand it and you don't get that, as we have seen, and the examples are many. So one thing is the role that technology is playing, and I believe that more and more will not talk about the IT industry because, again, it's embedded. There will be, like today, companies, and then I get to what you asked about Softtek, that are supporting, that are partnering within the other industries in helping them to go in this journey with their digital transformation. We want to partner with them. I do believe that we have done in the past, just when technology was another component of the different areas, but now we are working with our partners. It is helping them probably to build a new business model. It's not just, okay, let's keep it. I was in Brazil a month ago or 2 months ago, in which we visit this company that is one of our clients, and he's in the retail industry. But he retail not through, not probably necessarily to the stores, but more on an online basis, right? So they would sell this beauty. And I remember when we got there, the CEO started by telling me, do not get confused. We're not a beauty company. We're an IT company. Because look at the kind of network that we have, the access that we have to this population in Brazil, because we do have that access, is that we can think about other kind of services that are not beauty related. This was a beauty company. Mm-hmm. And it is true. So more and more you see companies that are transforming not just their core business, but looking at new revenue avenues and finding that where they play and the way they play and the way they approach their clients. So what Softtek, how do we see Softtek in the future? Being that agent that can help them in exploring new opportunities, new business models, even new revenue avenues sometimes. So it is helping them in that kind of transformation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Blanca, I know you have already told us like some advices, but in a way to sum up, what would be your advice for other women entrepreneurs in information technology in emerging markets?
First of all, don't listen to anyone that want to share with those entrepreneurs, the things that were difficult. Don't even approach them. they are very negative influences. So don't look at them, don't listen to them, walk away from those kind of panels. Sometimes it is frustrating. Those panels seems like they want to convince you not to pursue what you want. So first of all, just surround yourself with people that believe and that share with you what you want to do. So that will be the first. The second, once you know what you want to do, the vision that you have, whatever you want to build, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever you want to start, share that with someone else. Because once you make that kind of, I would say declaration, but once you share that with other people, it becomes a commitment.
Okay.
Once you tell your friends, your family, whoever, that you want to do this, now it's not just a vision or a dream, it's a commitment. You already told them, I'm going to build this global company. We did that 30 years ago, and they look at us and said, they're crazy, global company. So the second advice will be, once you have your vision or whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to build, tell the world that you want to do this, because then you don't want to go back. You already commit to that vision. That will be the second. The third one will be, don't feel guilty, because as a woman, you are able to pursue and not to sacrifice or do one thing at the cost of the other. In order to be really fulfill that all the things that we want to do, it is possible to have both things, but do never ever feel guilty. Not when you're at work, not when you're with your family. If you don't feel guilty, you'll find the right balance, because you will enjoy being with your kids, and you enjoy facing the challenges that your work presents. So the third one, do not ever feel guilty. And in order to do all those things, it's so much easier when you share the journey with your family, with your extended family, because at the end, it's a family decision, but also with your partners. Don't have a lonely journey. Don't do that. It's difficult. They become your most important support when you do that.
Excellent.
That would be my advice.
Well, thank you so much for your advice.
No, thank you.
Well, Blanca, we are going to close this interview, and really very, very sincerely on behalf of the Emerging Market Institutes at the Cornell College of Business, we really want to thank you for sharing your vision of the industry, of the profession, and also your personal insights. And we have learned about Softtek, but also what it also means to be managing a company as big and as important as Softtek. So again, thank you very, very much on behalf of the students and of the MI.
No, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.